Welcome everybody to Con Culture Podcast.
Woo!
Yeah, just excuse the first 7 minutes if you were here for the live.
Right.
It was a rough start, but we're here. We're gonna get through it together. Facebook didn't let us go live. That's fine. But we have two big cons to talk about. So I'm excited to talk about them. We have Big Texas Comicon, which took place a couple weekends ago here in San Antonio, down at the Henry B, and New York Comic Con, which took place, as the name says, in New York City. And both were a fun time to be had. So we're going to discuss how those cons were. I think we'll go in sequential order because Brittany and I both were able to make it out to Big Texas. So what were we'll just dive right into it. What were your thoughts of Big Texas, Brittany? And you went with the whole family, so you get a unique
I
perspective there. How was
did.
that?
I did. So I did do a unique perspective. I did go with family and I did not go in cosplay, which is out of the ordinary for me. I literally just went to see vendors. We got to meet Hopper from Stranger Things. And
That's
he was
awesome.
so nice. And it was just mainly for my kids and myself. So they had a great time. And I walked out with a lightsaber. So that was always a positive.
Yes.
my
Yes.
first, my first saber.
Yeah. How was your process getting in? Because I had no difficulty. It was pretty quick, pretty smooth to get in on, and it was on a
Yeah.
Saturday. Did you go on Saturday?
Yeah. We went on Saturday. We got there
Yeah.
like shortly after it opened. I mean, we didn't have a problem
Hmm.
finding parking. We were in quickly. They gave us like the line went super quick. We got our
Yeah.
wristbands and they checked our bags because, we had camera bags and stuff like that. And we
Same.
went right in and that was pretty much it. It was pretty easy peasy from there. I do
Same.
feel like the
I
vendor hall was a little like I was getting lost because I was like, these are such long, they were such long aisleways that I would
Yeah, it was
forget
just a
what aisle I
stretch.
was in. And then I was like, where am I at? And I
Yeah,
kept
I
getting
remember
lost.
because I like to walk through it before I do anything. I like to get the lay of the land, and it did. It took a little bit to get through that. So
Yeah,
the
it was a
aisles were
lot. It was a
super, super
big,
long.
yeah,
Yeah, because
very
they stuck
big.
them together. So you end up walking like maybe, if I had to guesstimate, I would say 20 plus booths on either side
Wow.
going through. So you're like trying to look. And they did have plenty of walking space. So there was good
Yeah,
spacing
it
there.
was. Yeah, I never
It was
felt
spaced
super
out well.
crowded either.
And I don't know if that was because the line didn't feel crowded to get in. I was expecting, I guess, a little more people because it was Saturday, but there was other events going on in the city. Apparently, there was a big sports game going on, and the Home and Garden show was also going on.
Mm,
And I got to go to that one the day after Big Texas, and that one was kind of crowded, but also super cool. But they also said that they experienced some low attendance. So I guess everybody was just kind of spread out because there was a college
maybe.
game or something in town,
Yeah.
a big football game. So there was football, I think there was baseball, and then there was the two events downtown. So I liked the fact that there was a big crowd. I got a shirt vendor who had
Were super cool shirts. You can
actually see I'm wearing one of the shirts in the. Oh no, damn! I don't think that's come out yet. It's like a Deadpool shirt. I thought, was I wearing it? No, I wasn't wearing it. It's in an interview that I haven't released yet. So, because I was like, no,
So
I have
stay
that on.
tuned.
Yeah,
Keep
so
your
stay
eyes
tuned.
peeled.
You'll see it in the New York Comic Con footage. But no, I loved it. They were like really playful character shirts, and um, they were direct to garment, so they feel really good on the skin. They have really good design, but it doesn't have like that itchy, sticky
Yeah.
inside when you get
No.
like cool
Yeah.
big designs.
Speaking of
Really
excellent
stretchy, really
garment,
breathable. What'd
I
you
got
get?
to get my first pair of leggings from the Legging Lass, and I am very much
Ah,
impressed. Yes,
Oh, and also shout
love.
out to Legging Lass. Just had a wedding last weekend, so shout out to that.
Congratulations.
Yes.
yeah, the legging last is amazing. I love the pajama pants. I love the size
I got
inclusiveness of
I got
her
like the
clothing
fitted
line.
joggers is what I got, and so soft.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
Belinda
the
has a couple leggings
softest.
from
Yeah. It's
them.
so soft, so comfortable.
I can wear those all day long. I forgot I was wearing them. And I almost went to the store and like my Justice League PJ pants from the legging. I was like, "This is no, no, I shouldn't."
I got a Spirited Away
comfy,
pair, and I would totally rock them at the grocery store.
Trey has a waifu pair, although
He
different
does.
waifus. I was with him when he
Yes.
bought them, and then we changed into like at a gas station.
Yeah,
He
she
put on
she
his
took
legging
so
class.
much of our money. She took so
Yeah.
much of our money. Every time we see her, it's very hard to not. Now she's like doing hoodies and
I love the
like
big hoodie.
She had like,
onesies and
she had like
pajamas.
blanket hoodies and
That's what
shorts
I have a
and
blanket hoodie from her.
Yeah, she's got everything now. So congratulations. It's growing. It's still getting bigger and bigger. I see them more and more cons around, and all the success in the world deserved. But yeah, they had cool vendors there. They had, as Britt said, the celebrities. David Harbour, did y'all get a chance to chat with him a little bit, or was it kind of like usual photo op, like, hey,
so
bye?
yeah, it was, and yeah, he kind of just like all I remember is like I remember shuffling in and you know I was joining a photo op. This was my husband's photo op. It wasn't mine. So I was kind of like, where do you want to go? And then he was just kind of like, go. And I don't want to stand next to like. So and then I just go and I pose, and he made fun of me so much. He's like, it looks like you're in the photo, and then we're just
Oh,
like,
100%. You could just like Photoshop your family out of it, and it's the cutest photo.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
like
my
they were just
hair
extras
through.
on set.
The only thing he really said was like, "Whoa," because when he like saw my hair and it's like
Your
big
hair.
and bright, and he was like, "Whoa," like,
I
and then
don't know how I didn't spot you in the crowd. Like we were there, and I was
I'm
like, "Oh man, maybe she
literally
left early." Like you're
no,
bright, yeah,
yeah.
100%. And I'm tall as heck, and I'm walking around with an ogre, and I'm like, I didn't see you the entire time. I didn't see a lot of people that said they were there. I think I just ran into a cosplay friend of mine, Jesus, and then on the way out, I was like, "All right, I did a couple rapid fires. It's time for me to kind of go." And I see Beauty and the Beast walking by trying to get into the show, and it was ATX Thor and you, and I was like, oh my god, no, I need to and
I
that's the
literally
clip
saw
that I
no
released.
one. I was really surprised.
Right?
Like I felt like
It
I
lived up to its name.
really nobody.
It's
Yeah.
Big Texas Comicon, and it was
Yeah.
a big
It was
Texas
big.
Comicon.
It was it was hard to find anyone just because there was so much to see
It
and
was
do.
large.
It really was, and I think they had panels going on in other sections
Wow.
of the convention center. But yeah, it's not the largest con. Like it's not as big as San Japan, and it's not as big as the Superhero Comic Con, but it's good. It's a good size for, I think it's a third or fourth year that they're going into, and you can tell that they're growing and hopefully getting more popular, because more cons for San Antonio is always a good thing, like having shows that you can go see friends at.
Yeah.
And I think Thor and Ewan nailed it. They're there to see friends. We want to see cosplay friends. We want to kind of meet up with friends and just see what everybody's been up to. And I think as long as cons create an awesome environment for people like us to reunite with our friends and nerd out, then you're gonna have some success. So yeah, Big Texas, I would go again. We didn't get press access, by the way, so we are, I guess mine and Britt's review are as paying customers. Like she
Yes.
said, out of cosplay, going with family. I would recommend
Yes.
it though. It was
I
fun.
was
The
bummed I
line.
couldn't
So
go.
overall, the line, every line I had to wait in was quick. It was a very large con, and I never felt like I was seeing the same thing twice. Like I felt like I was like constantly seeing something new. That's why I felt like I was constantly getting lost, because I'm like, I don't even remember what booth that was at, because it was so long ago that I saw it. So like
I
trying to
did get the
find my way
doo-doo scared
back
out
to
of me by that big skeleton thing.
oh
Did
yeah,
you
that
see
was
that? Oh no,
yes,
it's like an
the
animatronic,
big
but it
giant
would
like reaper, and he like
yeah,
sprays
it would
stuff out of
hover
his
over
mouth.
into the walkway though, because it was like standing, and then it would just come at you. I was like, nope.
I
me
would
in my
have paid
pants. I'm
money
out.
to
I'm
see
fainting.
you there.
I
Juan.
fainted. I fainted. I fainted.
I
like, right
received
there
a
on the floor.
video of that exact Reaper from my husband the day before we went to the con, and he was like, I mean, it's nice. And I'm like, it's $6,000. And then we
It's
see
six.
it the next
Jeez.
day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's huge. I mean, it was massive. Like,
Yeah, 'cause
big,
it can be
like as
several
big as
different
like the Jack
movements.
Skellington that you can get at like what Home
Yeah.
Depot or
Yeah.
Lowe's or whatever. It's
Wow.
like
It
as
was
big as
like 10
that.
to 12
But
feet
it would
tall. It was
like its
huge.
arm would
It
move out and it
moves.
would bend down and it would like talk and yeah, it
It
was
would breathe
wild.
smoke and shit. Like, it was
It would look like
horrifying.
it was like sucking your soul, so it would like blow all this smoke out. Yeah,
Hmm.
it was really really cool.
Yeah, there's a little bit in the clip that I posted with the interview with Ewan and them. There's a little bit in there of you can like see it hovering, but I cut it because it scared the shit out of me.
You're like, no.
It was not.
How does it
Yeah,
scare you? And my kids were like beelining it, like let's go look at it, like
because your
just
kids
trying to
aren't
get to.
wusses, Brittany. That's why. Because your kids aren't wusses. They probably like scary things and scary movies, and I do not.
No.
So, needless to say, that made going to a con where cosplayers go all out very spooky. But Big Texas would go again, but New
Yes.
York was the weekend after.
Yes, you
And
had a busy traveling.
yeah, it was. It was. I wanted to go to Big Texas to kind of like test the new gear, test the new mics, and they worked great. Like the interviews with Ewan and Thor and I forget his name. Jeez, he has a great YouTube channel. I haven't released it yet, but I released that interview as well. It was fun. It was fun. I don't know why I was nervous to just kind of jump back in, but I was, and you can kind of tell. And then I just kind of found my rhythm, and then I saw Ewan and them, and it was a lot more comfortable, that interview. So I tried to capture. I was like, what made that interview better than the first few I did? And I was like, oh, I was comfortable. I was relaxed. I knew them. So I just tried to kind of get that energy in New York, and it worked. But it is sensory overload like you wouldn't believe.
I've heard that
Like,
from so many people. So many
I
people.
I was so overwhelmed. Like I had a plan, guys. I was like, I'm gonna get photos on Thursday. I'm gonna get interviews on this day, and then I'm gonna get video clips and rapid fires on this day. So I had a plan, and I was like, I'm gonna do main floor, and then I'm gonna
You
go. I
had a
looked at
plan.
maps. Oh yeah, I looked at maps. I had the schedule down, and we get there, and it's just
Chaos.
a punch in the face. Yeah, it's chaos to get in.
There's so much.
It was pretty smooth if you had your passes. You walk right in, but if you didn't, I had to get mine from Will Call because they didn't send them out, and then they said we sent them out, so there was a little bit of an issue that I had to like work through there, but it wasn't too much of a hassle. I did get to stand in line with Aris Quinones. If you don't know him, Variant Comics on TikTok and YouTube. He's a very, very big YouTube
Ooh.
and TikTok comic creator from Dallas, Texas. And I didn't know that until I was locked in line with him because we were both press and they pushed us through general. They were like, no, you need to go through this line to get to that one. It was like, that doesn't make sense, but whatever.
You're like, okay.
First time here, I'm just gonna follow you. And I got stuck there with him. And I was like, holy shit, Eris, right? He's like, yeah, man, how's it going? I was like, oh, big fan of your channel, man. And just kind of started talking to him. And we started just kind of going back and forth. And we got to talk for a good like 5 minutes. And I had a great convo with him. And he's such a down-to-earth guy, really cool. Variant Comics, YouTube that. You'll find him on TikTok. He's always giving like breakdowns and history of characters. Like that dude knows his stuff. So
I love
that was a
that.
cool experience. Yeah, he was so cool, but that wasn't the end of it.
There's more.
Not right after. Yeah. I go in and it's like I said, it's just overwhelming because like the biggest brands and studios are there. So you got Paramount Plus, you have Nickelodeon, Marvel has a giant televised stage like as soon as you walked in. So you had like cosplay contests going on. Eli Manning's on stage. Fans are cheering, and you're just
Eli
like,
was there. Hold on.
Yes!
I'm
Yes!
really offended that I'm just now finding out that Eli Manning was there because he is my favorite Manning. I love Eli.
yeah, he was on stage. I was like, what the fuck is Eli Manning doing here? Like, not complaining, but it was just so out of left field. And you just run into like creators that you watch.
Yeah.
And it's like
they're everywhere.
Your For You page just started walking around you in 3D space. Belinda was in line to get a Tamagotchi for a friend because they were doing like limited edition Tamagotchi releases. Yeah, New York exclusives. I thought you would like that. And Straw Hat, Goofy, turns the corner and I'm like, total fangirl. I was like, Straw Hat. And he turns around like, who the fuck is calling me in a crowd? He looks like he's going somewhere, but he's kind enough to stop. He's like, hey, man, how's it going? I was like, big fan of your work. We have a couple mutuals like David and Jennings. And he was like, "Oh yeah, man, I'm looking to run into them while we're here." Da 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 da, and
Aw.
just super sweet, super nice. I asked him for a selfie. He obliged, and let me know what panels he was doing if I wanted to come through. Same thing with Eris. Kind of told me what panels he was doing. So yeah, everybody just seemed super happy to be there. There were obviously some frustrated people just because it was hard to get in for some people. If you like left your passes, they weren't letting you in. If you forgot them at home, you had to get video of them like cutting your passes or had some proof that the passes were destroyed and nobody else could use them, and then they would replace them. It was a big hassle for
I
some
guess
people,
because they
but
had such a high, it was such a high attendant event that they didn't like it,
yeah,
for
the
like
level of
fire
security,
safety and everything. Like they
yes,
had to cap it
exactly.
at some point. And if
They really did.
yeah,
It got like sardine can, and this is the most space I've ever seen of any con in booths.
yeah,
You had a good 15 feet across from one vendor to
wow,
another. It was huge, so you
wow.
had plenty of room to browse on either side and still have a good 10 to 8 to 10 feet of walking
Oh,
way.
that's
So
nice.
plenty of people can get through. But even then, it was sardine cans in there on Saturday. Oh, Friday. Friday was like packed sardines. And I'm sure Saturday was the same. I didn't make it
Yeah.
out Saturday because I went to go do New York stuff. But yeah, you had huge vendors. You had awesome panels. The cosplays were out of this world. You had people, of course, with like 8 foot, 10 foot builds, and they went all out on their
Oh,
cosplays. Like they knew they were on the biggest stage, one of the biggest stages in the world, and they went all out. But everybody still was like stopping for photos. Nobody was ever like, no, or I'm going somewhere. It's
yeah.
always like, yeah, sure. You want me to hit
Well,
a certain
that's why you
pose? You
go
want me
to a
to?
con. If
Mm-hmm.
you're a cosplayer and you go to a con, like you, part of it is that you're gonna be stopped for photos,
Especially if you go all out. Like if you have a
especially
really
if you
sick
look.
cosplay,
Yeah,
yeah. They were so sweet though. Everybody was like, "Oh, do you want me to hit a certain pose? Do you want me to like, oh, do you want me to pull out my weapon? Like, what do you want me to do?" And it was like, "Whatever you want to do. I just trying to
I just
capture
think you look great.
your amazingness." Yeah, and even for the rapid fires, I don't think I had one single person tell me no to doing the interviews and rapid fire. So that was
I'm glad it was
pretty cool.
positive. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very positive, which is totally not the vibe you think about when you think of New
Well,
York. You're like, I'm walking here,
I was
very
about to
aggressive.
say that. I was like, there's such a stereotype of whenever you go
Mm-hmm.
visit New York that you just like don't like people are harsh and everything, but it's
Nothing.
not the cosplayers. Just
No,
saying. If
not
you
at
meet
all.
somebody
And
rude, it's not a nerd.
yes, and I'm not like blind to everything going on in the world right now and the tension that was there, and they put
Yeah.
out warnings and stuff because it was a big gathering. But in that space, you had nerds enjoying their their
Nerd culture.
nerddom, their fandoms,
Yeah.
their culture. It was there, and that's all they were there to do. They were there to buy anime stuff. They were there to buy comics. They were there to get prints and see the latest shows and comics being released. It was a lot of fun to just have people being positive and supporting each other. It doesn't matter how niche you think your anime is or how niche you think your cosplay is. You were gonna find a group there that loved it, and they would. Everybody was hyping everybody up. It wasn't like, oh, that bitch is also Wonder Woman. It was like, oh my God, you look amazing. I saw that so many times when cosplayers who were wearing the same thing, guys and girls, were running into each other. They were like, you look amazing. No, you're phenomenal. How did you do this? And that energy was just
That's
infectious in the air.
it all sounds exactly how I felt when I went to Dragon Con. That's exactly what it
Yeah.
feels like. The way you're describing it, that's what it feels like. And it's
And that's the
amazing.
closest descriptor I have because I've heard you and Trey talk about just the scale of Dragon Con.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah, this is definitely that
And a
because you
lot of
walk
times
in.
is
Mhm.
it like is all the cosplayers like hang out like in on the event floor, or were there like separate areas where more cosplayers would gather than on the con
They're
floor?
they're so everywhere. They're
Yeah,
so
that's
everywhere.
where.
They're like in the show. They're in the vendor areas, along the walls. They're in the main entrance. There was a lot gathered there. Downstairs, they have like the little tunnel area where I shot the intro. There's cosplayers down there doing photo shoots. Third floor, I didn't find out to the last day, is a cosplay area where you had people like Erica Fett and
Ah.
Nine Lives Cosplay, and Cosplay Magazine was up there. Like it's a whole cosplay section.
Oh,
This thing was
cool.
so huge. I got through day one and I couldn't even finish the main floor.
Wow.
Like it is the largest
He's like,
con I've ever
couldn't.
attended. I couldn't because I made that mistake
That's a
in
good
Seattle. I was
con.
like, I'm gonna one day it. I'm gonna one day it, and I'm gonna get everything in one day. I was such a stupid move in Seattle. My feet were killing me the next day. I couldn't move. But this one, I was like, no. We walked to the event. We walked everywhere around New York. I've walked over 30 miles in 3 days.
Yes.
So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I loved it. But yeah, we definitely paced ourselves. So the main floor was your typical vendors, but also huge studios were mixed in there. So you see Crunchyroll and
Oh, that's
you
cool.
see Crunchyroll and Nickelodeon right next to a mom and pop vendor, and it was pretty fucking cool because everybody was kind of doing their thing, and you see statues that are 20 feet tall. So I walk in, and there's like this giant Goku, 20 feet tall, inflatable, and yeah, no, Dragon Ball came out hard. There was about 40 feet of Dragon Ball space.
Wow.
40
That's
feet.
so
They had a full, like, Naruto Nine Tails. It was easily 15
That thing is
feet.
cool.
That
Yeah,
Nine Tails
huge.
looked sick.
They had
Yeah.
the Leaf Village recreated. They had, if you were an anime weeb, you were loving it because they had like
thriving.
full-blown sets. Yes, they had full-blown sets for you to just step in and take photos in your cosplay. So you're like Naruto in the Leaf Village, or you're like squaring up against a giant alien. I saw a Goku cosplayer squaring up against the giant. I don't know what the fuck. The alien with the flat, like round head looking thing, gray body. Looks kind of like Mewtwo.
Frieza.
Yes. I'm sorry. I don't do Dragon Ball.
It's
But
like
yes, it was like
Frieza.
it was a giant Frieza, and Goku's like doing a photo op against this giant Frieza. It looks so cool. I'm not of the fandom, but I love that people were enjoying it, and the look on people's faces and kids were lighting up. That was the coolest thing. A lot of the cosplayers I interviewed said that their favorite part of cosplaying is the kids, the looks on the faces that they get from children when they feel like they're meeting their heroes. It was so cool. The artist, it was the who's who of artists. I met a couple of them that I fell in love with, got some interviews, so I'll be putting all that out. I don't want to ramble. So is there anything in particular you guys want to? Because I already have. I've already rambled.
No,
for
I'm
15
just
I will
like
say-
living vicariously. Like,
I
I'm
will
there.
say though, like I love hearing it from your perspective, because now think about this in reverse for a second. Imagine what that con is like for a cosplayer. Yeah, there's a shit ton of cosplayers, but imagine how many photographers are there. Imagine how many times a day you are stopped. Literally, you feel like a celebrity by the end of the day because you are
Yes.
stopped non-stop. Like, and
It's
sometimes you have
constant.
numerous photographers like
That come,
surrounding you
yeah.
at a, yeah, and it's like,
Yeah.
And I think
like
the
I feel
coolest
pretty
part was-
awesome.
It does, because the coolest
so-
part was cosplayers were stopping other cosplayers to get their photo. So there would be
yeah.
like people in cosplay, they're like, oh, hell no, I need a picture of you. And they're like, oh, no, you look amazing. And they would be taking pictures of each other, and then together. It was very communal, and
I went
everything
as-
positive about this culture.
I went
You
as
went
a
as what?
female. I went as female Goku when I went to Dragon Con, and I dressed my son up as like baby Goku, even with like the monkey tail and everything.
Aw.
And I was stopped so many times, like by other like Dragon Ball fans. Like it is, you find your people while you're there. Like
Yes.
that's almost like how you're making all those connections is by your fandoms, and it's a really cool experience to meet people who have as much enthusiasm for fandom as you do.
The family cosplays were adorable. You had like
Oh,
a
yeah.
whole Mario family, Mario, Luigi, Peach, and a little tiny baby Toad. Oh, they were so cute. You had the funniest one, I think, was Omni-Man and Invincible, a father-dad duo.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a
There
good
were
one.
so many really cool ones there. Yeah, I would recommend it if you haven't been to New York Comic Con. You
Go.
need to go. If you are a fan of cons, if you are a fan of events, is it pricey? Yes. New York is pricey in general. I think we dropped something like $1,500 to stay there for
It's what
4
you have to
days.
do. It's what it's.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a once in a lifetime experience. Having experienced Seattle, which is the same convention organizer, Reed Pop does both. They do not do anything half-assed. It is very much like the Superhero Comic Con. You are going to get the top tier talent. You're going to get the top tier vendors. You're going to get the top tier artists, like the best of the best. Throw on top of that, the biggest studios in the world are there at New York. I can only imagine if SAG wasn't on strike, the amount of celebrities that would have been there. Because I got to meet Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Captain America. I have now met both Captain Americas. Once at New York Comic Con, and thanks to Bobo at the Superhero
Yeah.
Comic Con, I got to meet the current Captain
Now you can
America,
put them
Anthony
right next to
Mackie.
each other.
Yes, it was surreal. It was so cool. That one went really fast, but I think my biggest nerd out, like holy shit moment, was Erica Fett. She's a cosplayer, model, actress. I've been following for since like 2019, 2017. Like I've huge nerd, huge fan. I follow her on everything, and she was the sweetest human being on planet Earth. Like, you know how it was like Jennings. It was another Jennings situation
Yes.
where you're like, you can't be gorgeous and the nicest person, man. That shit ain't fair. That is not fair at all. So she was amazing. Even Belinda was like, wow, she was really friendly because she started talking to Belinda after the interview was done. She kept us there another 5 minutes, just kind of
Aw.
talking and nerding out. And she has a film coming out, Haunting in Gettysburg, that
Ooh.
you'll see in
Oh
the
my
interview.
God. Wait, like historical spooky?
Historical spooky. The premise
The
of it is
best.
really cool. It's really cool because it's a medium who can see spirits, and he's got to go cross country to his mom's funeral, and his ability is fading, from what I understand. Like he's losing his ability to commune with the dead, and then he goes into this area, and spooky, intense stuff starts happening. Erica actually plays one of the what I presume is the ghost of like a nurse or a maiden. It looks super cool. I
Did-
hate scary things.
Do we know
I
when
told
it's
her that
coming
too.
out?
I don't know exactly.
I'm sure
the
it's
date.
like
I
on
know
her
it's
website.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
linked in her bio. If you click on that,
Oh
it'll
my
take you to it.
gosh, that's amazing. I
So
want to watch that. I'm in my
yes,
history girl era, so
she's got
yeah.
her own podcast, so we got to talk
No,
about
look,
that.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, Camp Cryptid podcast is hers. I know you guys would love it because it's all about witchy, spooky, like
Wait, I think I've listened.
sci-fi stuff.
I might have. Hold on.
It's crazy. She did actually she went to the catacombs in Edinburgh. I think she brought that up on her last episode. So hopefully we'll be able to get her on the show. She was down. She was like, "Oh yes, I would love to. Anytime, please. I would love to
Oh,
be a guest
that's
on your
awesome.
podcast. We can talk about anything you
Ooh.
want."
We could
So
like
yeah, she
jump universes with
Okay.
each other's podcasts.
yeah.
Okay.
And the thing is, she loves spooky stuff, and that's what her podcast is about. And I'm so not the person for that.
Did
I
you
just
tell her
looked
though,
it up.
like my
I
other co-stars though, they are the spooky
yes,
girls?
yes, because she likes that, and she likes horror manga and horror anime, and that's what she was kind of nerding out about on her latest episode. And I was like, "Yep, that's not me.
It,
Still a fan.
it
I'll
comes
support
out
anything she does."
January 1st, by the way.
January 1st, yes. So
Ooh, New Year's.
2024. Yeah, be sure to get that. She was the sweetest, and
I'm
that was
also
probably
now stalking her Etsy.
she followed us instantly.
I saw
She followed the
that.
podcast instantly.
No,
She was like, "Oh my
when
god, I gotta follow you with both my pages."
when I got
So
that
you get 2
notification, I
follows.
was like laying in bed, like trying to recover after staying out way too late the night before,
Mm-mm.
and I was like, and then my phone buzzed, and I did one of those like let me look at my phone, and then I was like, what? Like, what?
That's how I felt walking into the cosplay area because she's just standing there. She's just standing there. So I got to interview a cosplayer right before I got to her, and then I got to her, and I was like so nervous. But then she just came out from behind the desk and was the sweetest interview. I can't wait to put it out. I'll be putting it out this weekend. Her husband was awesome as well, and it was funny because she's the extrovert in her relationship, and he's an introvert, and I'm, as you know, the extrovert in my relationship. So her husband and
flip-flopped.
Belinda her husband and Belinda were kind of joking about that and how like me and Erica are the extroverts and the out there types, and they are totally not. So it was pretty cool, and I would love the opportunity to get her on the show.
Yeah.
She's totally down, so I can't wait for that to happen.
We should interview her after her movie comes out, whenever we watch it all.
100%.
Yeah, maybe
I'm
shoot
gonna
her a
have to.
message.
Yes, I am.
I think-
She told
yeah.
me to. She asked if just like there's more to come. I'm hopeful that if it pans out, I can announce it soon, because I was trying to network in New York and meet with huge cosplayers and huge content creators. So hopefully we can
Maybe
get
have
some
some
news soon on that
surprises.
front. Yes, yes, definitely have them on the show, but have some surprises. I know Dawn Frost just agreed to be on the show
Yes.
too. They're killing Halloween. This is cosplayer season. Like
Uh-huh.
everybody's out doing the most, and I'm loving
This
it.
has
I
been
don't
like the
the
most
season.
fun Halloween season in a long time.
Yeah, people are. I don't know. I don't know if they needed that or what, but it's
Well, because we
a
haven't
awesome
had a
vibe.
fun like truly, like we were the last.
Very
2019
much
was
in the shadow of
probably
COVID.
like, yeah, 2019 was probably the
Hmm.
last like without having anything in the back of your mind
Yeah,
Halloween. And then you think about 2020. What did we even do for 2020? I literally don't remember.
I don't know.
I don't remember 2021. I think was when it kind of people were like hesitant.
Feeling it out. Yeah, yeah. It
And
was a lot
then,
less trick or treaters.
yeah,
It ended a lot
like
earlier.
last year, it's like okay, we're getting back in the swing of things.
Mhm.
And then this year,
This
I
is all
think
out.
it
All
feels
out.
like what Halloween used to be. I went to a
Yes,
Halloween party
yes.
last Friday. I'm going to a Halloween party tomorrow. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm living
Even
it.
I got caught up in it. Even I got caught up in it. I'm gonna read Joe Prosit's book of scary short stories. I'm in
Oh,
it. I'm trying to be a
that's
Camp
a big
Cryptid
step.
member.
That's a big,
Yeah.
big step. For
She
you.
just she's so impassioned about the genre that it rubs off. Like when somebody loves something that much, it makes you kind of want to get into
Yes.
it. It's kind of like Trey and Dragon Ball. I'm like, just I can't for moral reasons. I can't like Goku because I'm a salty poor kid who didn't have cable. That's really the only reason. But no, yeah, in New York, it was amazing. I can't wait for you guys to get the opportunity to go, and anybody who's
I
listening.
will. I will go.
If we
It's
go
I,
though,
it is.
Gigi, we are required to have air tags on each other so that we can find each
oh,
other because we have
100%.
100%.
ADHD and we're gonna get split up at some point.
100%.
I lost my
100%.
brother. I lost my brother so many times. Lindsay was there on Friday, so we were gonna do some stuff together. A nice little comeback. As you saw in the clip, she popped in. She did an awesome Jessica Cruz cosplay, and I lost her. We ended up getting the intro with her, and that's it. That's all I got was the intro and nothing else. Because her and my brother, we just separated. Like you stop for water or you rest your feet for a sec, and
Bye.
poof, you're
You're
gone. You're swallowed in a crowd. I lost my brother literally walking through aisles. We were walking together, but I stopped to look at something. I look up and he was gone. It wasn't till 20 minutes later that we run into each other in an aisle, and we were going opposite ways at that point. I was like, how did that even happen? How did we
Juan's
get turned
like
around?
Stitch, like I'm alone.
That was my
I was with Belinda.
experience.
I didn't get far from her. I was like
That-
glued to her. I was
that
like, I
was,
can lose everyone else but her.
I had that same experience in Denver, but there was
Oh,
other
Denver
there
was
were other
massive.
reasons involved.
Yeah,
Why I
Denver
got
was-
so lost. that was
To this day, Denver is the chillest con I've ever been to. Nobody was angry. The line for beer was a mile long, but everybody was just cool with it. Just cool with it. Don't know why.
A vibe.
There might, yeah, it's a vibe. It's definitely a vibe. But New York is one also. The best food in the world. Some of the best food in the world. Some of the
oh my
best
gosh.
architecture in the world.
Delis.
Like-
I love delis.
I got to my last meal
Delicatessen.
was on a New York diner, and if you are a
Yeah.
people watcher, New
Oh,
York is
yeah.
a city for you. The
Yeah.
smog is real, though. I didn't think it would be that. By day 5,
Did
it
you
was
blow
rough
your
to breathe.
nose?
It was hard to breathe.
Did you blow
It was
your
hard
nose
to
and see gray?
No. But I did have like just a raspy throat, lung
Yeah.
thing after 2 days of being there. Like it's there.
And it's just
It's
like
the air is
stagnant.
thick.
It's just stagnant smog.
That's how their
Mhm.
voice gets like that. That must be how.
Yeah, they get really
It's all-
rough talk.
Oh, you get rough from all that.
Hey, I'm walking
In
in.
here. I think that's how it
Yes.
happens.
Yeah, no, but it is a beautiful city still. Oh man, I want to live there. I really want to live there for a year and just get
I don't know if I could live
in
there.
that.
I'm not
I
cut
have
from
no
that
me
cloth.
neither.
I want
I
it.
have friends that live in New York, and I'm like,
Yeah.
kudos to
I could
you.
I could totally live there, and it's just because I also want to live in somewhere like 2 hours outside of Denver in a cabin. Where
You mean
there's,
like in
nothing
Estes
there.
Park?
Yes,
Estes
yes.
Park
I
was-
want to live in Estes,
Look,
up near Rocky Mountains.
Literally, Same. Say less. Let's go.
It's
Let's all
so
go
good.
in on
I wanna
on
I
a
wanna do it.
land.
I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna do both, and I want that extreme. Like 1 minute I'm in the mountains, in the middle of nowhere. I gotta drive an hour to a store, and the other I want to be
Yeah.
walking distance from everything I could ever want. And the city is always loud. There's always honking. Sirens don't stop.
That
I don't
stresses me
know.
out.
I liked it. It
I
gave
could
my
be there.
ADHD
No.
something to focus on. I think that's what it was. Because normally ADHD, if it's quiet, like your brain starts going and finding things, and you lose
Oh no,
track.
I have ADHD. I'm sound sensitive though. I have the sound sensitive
Oh,
because it's
okay.
like the
No.
spectrum of it. So the sound
Yeah.
sensitivity for me, I need like quiet sometimes.
Mm-mm. Mine is like I need ambient, so I'll like turn YouTube
Oh
on to
yeah.
focus, and I
No.
need background music. New York is like nonstop
No.
ambient background music.
Well, that's amazing for you. I am the type
Yeah.
of person where I'm like, shut up.
Ah! No, yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I can't say enough good things about this con. It is my second favorite Comic Con of all the ones I've been to, only because
Aw.
I'm biased. My boy Bob and the Superhero Comic Con, and the fact that
They
I get to
treat us
have it with
good.
you guys.
They
Exactly, they
do.
treat us amazing. I get to experience with you guys, and we get to bring in friends from all over the
I
country. Like
It's like our
know.
homecoming con, you know it? It's like our
1000%.
homecoming.
Yes.
Yeah, and not just being biased, they have the biggest celebs in the
They
country
do.
They
They
coming
have
right
do.
like
now.
celebs that you can't really see anywhere else. We
Exactly.
cannot go an episode without talking about Superhero Comic Con.
We can't.
I
We are
never will.
we are
I
We
refuse
love
to.
simps.
Bob. We love
Simps.
superhero.
Yes,
Bob simp.
100%.
No, I'm a
Yes,
Peggy
in Bob
simp.
we
Tell
trust.
tell
Oh
Peggy
yeah,
I'm a
Peggy's a
Peggy
boss.
simp.
She is a boss, man. But yeah, New York Comic Con guys, go. Big Texas Comic Con, also recommend. It's a great con in town. We have, I think, a couple coming up. IkiCon in January. There's so much more next year I want to get to. I will be going to Canada. I don't care if I gotta buy my way there. I'm gonna be applying for press access to Fan Expo Canada. I am gonna try maybe Salt Lake, Philadelphia. I just want to go to new cities and get just different con vibes from all these different places.
Yes.
Fan Expo, Comic Palooza will be back next year. Superhero Comic Con is 4 days. We are gonna try to step up the level of production there. I'm excited. I'm excited to get cosplay judges. I'm excited to get guests. I'm excited to do all of that. So hopefully we have something for you guys. Do y'all have anything else before we wrap up the show here?
I was pulling up the dates. So
Yes.
Anime
It is.
Frontier
Mhm.
is in Fort Worth, Texas, and that's December 8th to December 10th. And then we have Corpus, their anime convention.
Yes, they're in January.
Is
January is
February.
Anime Corpus. February?
Yes.
Oh, shit. I thought
February
it was in January.
16th to the 18th.
And IkiCon is January then.
Yeah,
January
IkiCon
20th,
is January.
Yes.
That's so much fun.
Sorry, I was
for
like, I
anybody
know
who's looking for
like these
cons.
cons are coming up, and I can't remember their dates off the top of my head. So I'm sorry I had to
Yes.
Google them, but
No. Thank you for getting those dates. Britt, you got anything else before we go?
Happy Halloween.
Oh,
Yep.
spooky, scary
Spooky
skeletons.
Halloween. Ooh.
Yeah, guys, we won't be back till after Halloween, so enjoy. Happy Halloween.
I won't
We'll
be
be
at
seeing
on the
y'all.
next episode though, because I'll be
Yes.
in Colorado.
What?
We're
Jelly?
traveling. It'll be the two of us. Just
Just
the
the
two
two of us.
of
Possibly a
us.
guest. We might have a
Hey,
guest
there
on
we
the
go.
episode,
There we go.
So we're going to have Dawn Frost while you're gone. No, I'm joking. I wouldn't do that. I would not. I would never.
No, you could. It's okay. I would.
No, I would never.
I would just.
never.
I have your
we have
address.
we have a
so-
line of people who still want to be a guest, and I can't wait to have them. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming. We are out.